Mark, let's talk about this Libya operation, which seems, in some sense, to be the worst kind of situation for a president, trying to apply military force for a purpose that may look discreet and limited at the beginning, but it's hard to control as time goes on. How do you see that?
Well, that was precisely why the administration was so reluctant to be dragged into this. I mean, if you recall, President Obama and even more vocally his Secretary of Defense, Bob Gates, were very resistant to this. And Gates warned that, let's call a spade, was the phrase he used. A no-fly zone is never as surgical an operation as you think it's going to be. If Gaddafi doesn't fall as a result of this, how long are they willing to go on with it? And what forms of escalation are they willing to contemplate?
Seems very, very tough.
It's very tough, and you can actually see a paradox already in the administration's position on Gaddafi himself. President Obama has called for Gaddafi to step down. Secretary Clinton has also called for him to step down. Yet Admiral Mullen over the weekend suggested that there might be an outcome where Gaddafi would remain in power. Are you willing to live with a Libya that's in effect split in two and a stalemate? And that's the prospect that they're facing.
Now, it seems to me that one of the other problems that the administration faces at a time when there's so much unrest across the Middle East is defining, okay, you're intervening in Libya, what about Bahrain? What about Yemen?
This question of when you intervene and when you don't is obviously one of the thorniest ones that every American president faces.
Egypt was an optimal outcome.
Yeah, Egypt was an unusual case because you had a military, A, that had very deep ties to the United States, and that B, played a very responsible role in the society. In Gaddafi and Libya, you have neither.
How much of a headache is this likely to be for a president who wants to head into his re-election campaign talking about domestic issues in the economy?
Considerable, obviously. The White House has said we're not going to allow upheaval in the Arab world to deflect us from our agenda. Now, though, that you have a shooting war underway in Libya, it's going to be tougher and tougher for him not to allow foreign policy and the upheaval in the Arab world to overwhelm his schedule. And indeed, it's already overshadowing his trip to Latin America, where at every stop, rather than being asked about trade issues, he's asked about what's going on in the Middle East. So it will be a bigger and bigger distraction for him going forward.
Headaches aren't going away. Thanks, Mark.